Hi everyone, this is very different from my normal videos, and will probably just be a one-off, but Help Wanted 2 has revived the FNAF theory part of my brain. The new game looks so fun, and I wish I had a headset so I can hold hands with Moon in VR. Anyway, there's tons of new lore implications, which might hint to an upcoming FNAF game. Steel Wool has been dropping a lot of stuff related to carnivals, which is probably to do with the new backstory they're developing. There's details in recent games that I've not seen many people talk about, and I think there's an important link between the Balloon World game, Circus Baby, the Daycare Attendant and the backstory of the Carnival. Or I'm just obsessed with Sun and Moon, to the point where I'm overanalyzing everything. If the Carnival location existed in the past, I think Sun and Moon may have originated from there. The company has kept things from old locations like the 70s posters and cutouts. The ending of Ruin has mascot characters in the basement of the Pizzaplex. Not sure how much stuff in Rockstar Row is in universe or Easter eggs, but it's hard to know at this point. Sometimes Steel Wool can't decide either. Help Wanted 2 also shows carnival rides and games, and even describes the carousel as antique. Another thing is that Sun and Moon don't really fit the aesthetic of the Pizzaplex. Security Breach is set in like 2030, and the glamrocks are super advanced, but Sun and Moon look simpler. They have lots of exposed wires, joints, and no face movement. They have AI like the glamrocks, but their design looks older, and they'd much better fit the aesthetic of an old-fashioned carnival. Eclipse's broken faceplate shows an endoskeleton mouth underneath, which is odd given his face doesn't move. Maybe he had a moving face at one point, but it was covered up. We know that Fazbear Entertainment loved to save money wherever possible, so perhaps repurposed Sun and Moon from the old location. Not taking credit for this next part because I saw it mentioned in another video, but I'll just go over it quickly. In Ruin, when you get to the daycare for some reason Mimic actively encourages you to reboot Sun and Moon.
Look, he's stuck. He's stuck. Go repair. Use your fast ring. Go.
Yes, Sun also asks you to do this, and seems aware that Cassie can fix them, but why would the Mimic care if Cassie did this? Mimic doesn't care about the other animatronics. Besides Roxy, Eclipse is the only animatronic who doesn't die or get deactivated, so we might see him again. Personally, I love Eclipse, and it's hard to believe he's evil. The Balloon World glitch feels separate. Maybe the Balloon World glitch was an extension of Glitch Trap? Due to all the cut content in Security Breach, it's hard to tell if the daycare section in Ruin was tacked on last minute for fans or if it was deliberate. Eclipse's voice lines were originally for Glamrock Bonnie, so this entire daycare section could have just been added to please fans who wanted a happy ending for the character. The Balloon World game has been popping up everywhere. Security Breach had a lot of stuff with arcade machines, but the Balloon World game seemed like a loose end and didn't really connect to anything. In Ruin, the arcade machine is still there, but it's broken with pixels coming out of it, and the Eclipse glitch is on the ceiling. Like in Security Breach, nothing major comes of it, but in one of the endings, Cassie interacts with a 70s cutout of Freddy, and we get the ending of Gregory and Vanessa sat on a hill with balloons. What's the music in the background? It's the daycare theme. The references to Balloon World carry over into Help Wanted 2 also. There is a balloon boy on the carousel. There's also a star and moon pattern on the top of it, further hinting that Sun and Moon were at the old carnival location. Sun even speaks over the intercom on the carousel and makes a comment about not being programmed to repair it. This could just be Sun being sassy, but it's interesting that they were used for this level. The carousel level burns down, further pointing to a fire, destroying this location. In the final level of the Phaser Blast game, the player is surrounded by the burnt-down carnival game, and one of the enemies is Plush Baby. One of the ways she tries to attack you is by floating from a balloon. Where have we seen that before? Did you notice the arts and crafts game takes place in the daycare loft? What else is in the daycare loft? The Balloon World game and Eclipse glitch. Also in the FNAF booth at PAX, Baby and Eclipse both appeared. I know this might just be because Eclipse is popular and Baby is the main animatronic in sister location, but it still pairs these two characters up. More things pointing to Balloon World being important is that Funko made Balloon World themed figures. Funko loves making random reskins, but this feels deliberate. One of the unused endings for Ruin was even labeled Carnival Teaser. We're probably building up to a prequel game about the Carnival fire. This next part might be a stretch, but JackO Moon resembles Eclipse with the orange and black colors, and his sections of the Foxy ride are glitching. The glitching might just be to represent wearing the Vanny mask, but it's still worth mentioning. During the ride, there are also targets that are shaped like a sun. Using this shape for the button is an unusual choice. Why not just use a regular star? Help Wanted 2 puts heavy focus on Moon and Baby. They share dialogue and appear prominently as enemies like in Bonnie Bull, Phaser Blast, and the Foxy Ride, as well as having their own mini-games. This focus is present to some extent in Security Breach 2, which had the plush baby room, baby-themed staff bots and plush baby collectibles. And maybe they just ran out of ideas for the DLC. But a third of collectibles are themed around Sun and Moon, and there are 2 baby plushies. The focus on Baby is confusing since her role in the story seemed to be over, but maybe she's linked to Fall Fest too. One other detail I thought was interesting is that 2 of the mini music men have their faces twisted to resemble other characters. Oh, that face shape looks familiar. I really think the daycare attendant might come back as a significant character and was at the Fall Fest fire. We know a lot was cut from Security Breach and Vanny was meant to have more screen time, although there were still hints that Vanny and Moon worked together, and the Help Wanted 2 ending pretty much confirms it. Just a quick side rant. No, Moon was not programmed to be evil. Cassie says in Ruin that she liked sleeping at the daycare. The animatronics only began acting weird or aggressive because the virus was taking over. It's implied in Security Breach that Moon was the first to be controlled by Vanny. Also, the thing about Sun and Moon being used in the theater is only canon in the books. Moon did nothing wrong, you can't change my mind. Well, that's about it. I just wanted to highlight these details from the recent games because they point to lore about the Fall Fest location, and I think Sun and Moon play a part in it. It might be another FNAF 2 type scenario where the carnival burned down, only for the daycare attendant to be repurposed for the Pizzaplex years later. Maybe the Balloon World glitch is linked to their old programming? I'd love to see more of Sun and Moon, but I don't want them to become the next William Afton. Suddenly making them fully evil would feel really forced, and Ruin Eclipse is too precious. If we do see them again, it's likely to be in a prequel game instead. I'm still not 100% sure what all this means. These details about the daycare attendant in Help Wanted 2 could just be to make up for the scrapped Moon and Vanny plotline in Security Breach, but who knows? We might get a surprise return from Eclipse and see how him and Baby burnt down Fazbear's Carnival. I hope people found this video interesting. Also, please check out some of the awesome people that made videos about the unused content. This video might age like milk, but we'll just have to see what the next game gives us. Thanks for watching.